Hello, everyone. Once again, Pairfect, the lifestyle online show, comes your way from the Daily Tribune studios in Makati City. This is Dinah Ventura, your host, welcoming you to this week's episode. So today we have three special guests. Relatively young as they are already luminaries in the field of arts, culture, and crafts. So may I present to you Miss Rita Nazareno, Gabby Lichauco, and Yeyey Cruz. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
Okay, so, our guests today have honored us with their presence because they are promoting an upcoming initiative, the Benilde Open 2024 Design and Art. So, would you like to tell us more about this initiative and how you came up with the idea in the first place?
Yay.
I think Benilde Open was a project by the school. It was an
Yes.
initiative, and then they invited a group of conveners to come together and start thinking what would be good for the landscape, for
Okay.
the creative landscape of the Philippines, and how we could actually address it. So there were a lot of ideas going around, whether it was going to be an award, it was going to be a biennial, it was going to be a competition, etc., etc.
Okay.
And we landed upon the idea of an open,
Okay.
which is basically, I mean, it's sort of like our proposals, no, of creative ideas, which allows for a wider set of participation from across the field, because Benilde is a design and art college, no?
Yes.
School of Design and Art college, and we thought it would be a bit more generative if it was about allowing for ideas and projects to be given some life, no, rather than congratulations, you did
Yeah.
all of this well. But
So-
actually,
So it's a different approach than the usual like design events.
Yes.
or-
So for this initiative, we're asking for proposals
Yes.
from Filipino creatives of all kinds. You know, you name it: architects, interior designers, engineers, choreographers, poets, musicians, you know, what have you. So we are going to ask for proposals, and the deadline of submission is January 31st, which is in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And there's a jury, a very impressive jury, and it's not the three of us, but there's a very
I was
impressive
gonna
jury
ask what would be your
that
rules.
will be selecting 10
Okay.
grants, and we will grant up to 300,000 pesos each.
Okay.
So that's going to be amazing. And then they'll build
Produce
the project, and then and by May, we will be exhibiting it. So
Okay.
and we'll obviously have everyone over
Okay. To see the
to
results.
see it. Yes, yes.
Okay. So how did you three become part of the Benilde Open?
okay. Everyone's like looking at me.
Yeah.
So no, actually, it started off with, because I work for the Museum of Contemporary Art and Design, which is part of Benilde, and so it started off with us being like initial people to think through the project, and we decided that it can't just be art, so we had to bring in designers as well, and we thought it would be good to bring in the group of Gabriel and Nazareno Lichauco. Group, which is Rita Nazareno and Gabriel Lichauco.
Lichauco. Okay.
So I thought we thought it was fantastic to bring them over, and they've always been. I mean, Gabby's part of the school. He teaches. He's one of the
Okay.
he's one of the tutors there, and then Rita has always been we've worked with Rita
Before.
numerous times
Okay.
at MCAD, and so we thought it would be fantastic to just consolidate these creative fields all together. Yeah.
And aside from the three of us, the conveners are Ai Magpayo, as well as who's a regent at Bethlehem University, and also a consultant at Benilde, and other LaSalle schools, as well as Dindin Araneta, who's the executive director, and of the Benilde Open, and she's also she's one of the co-founders of Art Fair Philippines, as well as an academic advisor at the Arts Management and the Creative Industries program at Benilde. I'm the only one who's not
Part of the
really
school.
officially part of.
No, but you're
Benilde.
sort of like there and not there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I have a great affinity for all the LaSalle schools.
Well, I'm sure right now our viewers are very curious about you as, luminaries in your field. So could you tell us a little bit about your respective journeys in your field?
Parang I want to talk about Yeyey.
You've been a curator for how long already? Since
Oh my God, since ages.
Oh,
ages.
so
You
tell us
know,
more about
can I just say Yeyey is brilliant.
Coffee.
There's no
Is
question.
she was in the Royal College of Art in London. She was curating contemporary art,
artists, yeah.
and also was a curator at everything from Singapore Biennale to, and was a curator of the Venice Biennale, the Philippine participation, as well as so many others. She's such
A genius.
she's brilliant in what she does. Talaga.
No.
Just do what you
MCAD
should.
is one of the for me one of the most important museums here in the country. So sorry. Go ahead, Yeyey. Because I'm sure we're going to be all humble and
Yeah,
She's
right.
really
I
quite
think
fun.
this is a good thing what
Yeah.
you did, because I don't think she would have said that about herself.
She's galing. She's brought in artists such as Isaac Julian, Paul Pfeiffer, Hey Gu Yang here to Ami Siegel
show.
and so many others. Like really pretty amazing. And I knew she was gonna be humble, so I had to jump in there. Sorry.
So-
Now I cannot say anything. Now I can talk about Rita.
No.
So Rita's had an about other things.
Gabby naman.
Things. You have to talk about Gabby. Because I don't...
Gabby's also very brilliant. I mean, and we've, paano kayo nagsalita?
Ikaw na, go.
No, but Gabby's the founder of Open Studio, as well as Nazareno Lichauco, and he had his master's in Milan. I want to say Scuola di Politecnica di Milano.
Hola!
Parang Milan. No, but he's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Like, I enjoy working with him so much, and everyone's just so enthralled with his work.
the whole team, all five of
Very,
us.
very inspiring. Gets your creative juices going.
Yeah.
You have to talk about her now.
No, let's not anymore.
Well, let's talk about Rita.
She's single.
Single. Always on the lookout.
I'm not.
No.
Sometimes. I mean,
Funny.
Well, no, Rita's actually quite key in a lot of design projects that we when we do something in design, we actually invite Rita to come in, and because Rita's done so many things, and I think she's just being very humble by
Tell us
shining
about
on
how
it.
you ended up in doing what you're doing now. How did you start
Now,
out? Yeah.
how she got into
Yes, because,
making
earlier we were
designing
talking-
bags. Yeah.
Yes.
I think because I think Rita from San Francisco made a segue into the arts via her mom by coming back to Manila, and then from here she went off to London, and then she studied design management.
yes.
Yeah? She went to UC.
Yeah, so I was in the States for quite a while. I was in television.
Okay.
I was at Fox 11 as well as the NBC station in Houston, and then moved to London for London design for design management at
Design
London College of
management,
Fashion.
yes.
That's where kind of we really hung out.
We
no?
hung out a lot.
You
And
were
then they
there
moved back here.
Yeah.
She was in RCH and she worked a lot in London as
Yes.
well. So.
So yes, so there.
And then I'm here with my grandmother started a workshop in 1925 called Esiviscar, and my mother is handling that now. And so she had asked me to come home. My mother asked me to come home, and so I did in 2010. And we've worked a lot with Yeyey and MCAD, and so obviously with Gabby.
Gabby now, yeah. Yeah.
So, wow.
So our group chats are pretty fun.
Yes.
can
So,
imagine.
but going back to Benilde Open,
Yes.
I think Benilde Open is going to be quite an interesting project, not only for us, but I think for everybody else who actually proposes. Because everybody talks, oh, it's going to be a prize, but it's not. It actually is an
grant.
opportunity
Yeah.
to be funded.
Yes, I agree.
Yes,
Yeah.
without having to go through, I guess, applications. No, it's really, and we talk about it as proposals of unrealized projects.
Yeah.
And
So we're going to realize and realize.
yeah, I mean,
Nice.
all of us, everybody sort of like scribbles on napkins, and then you sort of put it in your back pocket, and this is something you're always thinking about.
So, you launched this when?
Last December.
Last December.
December,
And what
yes.
kind of response have you gotten?
Great. Yeah.
Maybe? So, you're going to be wading through a lot of
It's not
entries?
actually going to be
Ah,
us.
hindi kayo?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's not
It's
us.
going to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're
panel.
basically a role
Yeah.
lang is to like sort of put it all
Then
together,
Organize it. Yeah.
and then we have a set of a jury, a set of juries who's coming.
International and local.
Yeah, who's
Okay.
going to go through
Go
all
through,
of the
sift.
proposals.
Yeah.
Sift through
Yes.
the proposals, basically.
Yeah, and we've had proposals from all over the country, and so as we said, Benilde Open is open to all ages, all Filipinos, all ideas, and from all creative fields. So we're kind of excited about that, and also the fact that really design is at the forefront, and the intersection of design and art, but also the fact that we also welcome collaboration. So whether you're a poet and an architect, or
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
filmmaker and
An industrial
Yeah.
engineer or something. I
like
think
that
it's
idea.
such an interesting
Initiative.
opportunity. Yeah,
Ah.
but also because this is not the first one. And this is a project that Benilde will continue having. I don't know if it's going to be biannually or annually, but it is not like just now, no? So I think the first idea really is to have people start thinking, what is it that, I mean, because creative
Right.
people have this innate desire to ask questions, no? And I think this is where creativity comes from, and this is why we made the theme curious, no?
That's
So-
right.
Yes.
We forgot to
Yeah,
mention.
Wait,
The theme is curious.
Curious.
Yes. So maybe Gabby can talk about that.
No, but also curious based on their industries or where we're sort of from their industry. So we, as mentioned earlier, that we wanted to have an event that's open to all. But it's also about how their ideas, like their what do you call this, unrealized projects will be something forward in their industry. So that's, I think, we're all excited to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
I think it's
encouraging.
about curiosity in the future and what they can give in their own industries.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why we're like, when people say, "Oh, it's too broad," no, but if you're an architect, you can actually propose something different.
Yeah. Because
Right?
there
It
are.
doesn't mean you're
Yeah.
designing, you're
Yeah.
proposing something based on your industry.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that allows
It
for
allows
you
you
to
to-
move outside of
And
your
then I think the
Yeah.
juries will
Yeah.
see.
Okay, expanding your
Yeah, because especially as designers, you're kind of
Limited.
somehow stuck and limited to the parameters, whether of the market, of your job, of your brand, like and this initiative is there for you to, if there are no parameters, what will you do? Right? So that's kind of
Let it go.
interesting.
Yeah,
And
it's tabula
yeah.
rasa. I mean, like it's
Because the juries might find, for example, a chef doing an industrial design product much more interesting than an industrial designer doing industrial product,
Yeah.
which probably addresses something
Yeah.
more.
disrupting the
Yeah, and kind of it spans whether it's sustainability and movement and craft and technology and as well as the real and virtual and digital realms, right? So that could be really.
I guess
really
somebody asked
very
if an
exciting.
AI could propose.
Yeah.
If he's Filipino, right?
Yeah.
If the AI is
If
Filipino.
the AI is Filipino.
Okay. So, speaking of creativity and excellence in the field, so Benilde has achieved prominence in arts and crafts education. What makes it an excellent training ground? I mean, in these fields.
I think also before we forget, the project came about because it's Benilde's 35th
Yeah,
anniversary.
this year,
So the president, Brother Dodo, decided we wanna
something
develop something for the
cutting
school.
edge.
Yeah. I mean, it is the nexus of
Yeah.
design and art
Yes,
here in the
yeah,
Philippines
yeah,
in
yeah.
terms of education.
It is.
So and you have Gabby who is one of the professors at the industrial design program,
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
and Yeyey, who's the director of Museum of Contemporary
Yeah.
Art and Design in Benilde.
Yeah, in the
So that's
Totally.
pretty cool.
yeah. It's pretty.
I should teach her.
Yeah, you
You
should.
You should. That will be the next.
But we
Anyway.
keep on inviting you.
Yeah, you do.
So we'll talk more about the initiative when we return after a short break.
This break is brought to you by Hangkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. A wellness show dedicated to empowering viewers with the knowledge and inspiration needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. Be Well Now, hosted by Miss Cory Crino, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Alamin ang pinakamaiinit na balita at mahalagang issue na bumabalot ngayon sa ating bansa. Ating pag-usapan, blow by blow, dito lang sa Hot Patatas, kasama sila Chicky Mangkukang, Vernon Velasco at Gio Leaño. Yung Lunes, Miyerkules at Biyernes, alas 3 ng hapon, dito lang sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube.
Conversations that are masterclasses from the top honchos of various industries. Learn from their strategies and insights so you yourself can unlock your full potential. Pairfect every Friday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Creative minds, entertainment icons, style influencers. We shine the spotlight on remarkable individuals who shape our cultural landscape. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Diba?
That's nice.
Tayo
Welcome
yun.
back to
Yeah.
Pairfect, and we were talking about the initiative of the Benilde School of Arts and Design. Okay, so let's talk about, let's go on with our discussion about what the school offers, I mean, as a training ground for designers.
Benilde offers like unique, although some of them are traditional design courses, but there are new, let's say, practices that
Trajectories.
the trajectories, like they, for some reason, they're able to have a foresight. This is going to be the next thing. We have gaming design,
Yes.
which is pretty big, and I think there's a campus.
Yeah.
Gaming?
And it's game design.
Game
It's one of
design.
the first ones that was
Okay.
in the Philippines. No?
Oh.
So
Yeah, and gaming's a big industry globally. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
we also have, but also the traditional courses have different approaches. I think like architecture has a combination of urban design.
Urban
I think urban planning. There's multimedia.
multimedia, which is amazing. They have
Yes.
there's such good. I mean, I think the graduates of multimedia are very much
in demand.
in demand in the field.
Well placed now.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
field,
yeah,
yes.
Theater and
theater as
theater
well.
and music,
Music
production.
I mean, for example, the theater in Benilde was built not for acting.
Yeah, it's
It
for dance.
It's for dance, but also
So-
for sound design,
design.
lighting
Okay.
design, all of these other.
So they
All the
delved
aspects of a
into
production
more
that's creative.
specific programs. Like also industrial design has a little bit of everything: car design, furniture design, packaging. So it's at the end it allows the students to go beyond the programs that they took during the whole course of 4 years.
Okay, so people should go to Benil.
No, but also Benil, this, I mean, I think the way it was thought of at the start is really to address it started off visionary in a way that it was trying to address non-traditional learning. And usually non-traditional learning is very creative.
Yes.
And because of that, I think it was just one step forward for it to be the courses took shape into a totally different direction.
Based on that.
And again, Benil, it being so visionary in its approach, actually is one of the few schools that actually has a school for the deaf.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, so this is, and not very many people know about this, and it is such an amazing resource, and so important, because we actually work with them, and because of this School of the Deaf, MCAD, has a special, for our learning programs, we always address this sort of disability, and we use the word disability. Incorporate it. Yeah. So this is something very interesting for us, and I think it works out in the end. No?
Yeah. Very interesting.
And you do that at MCAD as well.
Yeah,
What's showing an MCAD soon? I know you've
Yeah,
been installing.
Yes, we're installing, and we've had to keep on pushing the dates. But anyhow, the project is actually called 30 Lives, and 30 Lives is the cheat code for gamers. And it's an old cheat code from a Konami game.
Okay.
God, how do I know all of these? But it's a cheat code from...
I know that game.
See?
Contra, right?
Contra, see? It's called 30 Lives because once you get the cheat code, you're able to... You can win the game.
Unlimited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unlimited.
Unlimited life.
You will probably win it, yeah. So the project, the exhibition really is about strategy and about the player. More than the game and the player, because, for the game to exist, it has to be played. So all of these... so it's not about game design, it's not about the game itself, but it's about the insertion of the player into the game. So these are the exhibitions
How is that exhibited? I mean,
you will come and see it.
I'm excited to see
I
it.
can't imagine.
They really have the best shows at MCAD. They really do.
It's a challenge, but we try to look at what is interesting, no? Yeah, and we've been thinking about this for a long time because we have a game design, of the game design course.
Yeah.
And one of the few. So yeah, finally we're doing it.
Yeah.
And my co-curator is Ian Haushan, who's actually an amazing artist as well. And so I think it will be very interesting.
Ang galing naman ni Yeyey.
Galing siya.
I am a co-curator, so it's not just me.
You're just really in touch with, or you have this vision, or you have this feel for what's coming or what's really there. So perhaps maybe you could give us an idea where we are now in the field of design in the Philippines. What can you tell us about that, all three of you? And what are the current trends? Where are we going?
Yeah. Well, I always say, especially when I do talks, that I actually don't follow trends. So I may be the wrong person to ask about it. But state of design here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Well, I think
it's been quite vibrant, right? The
You
community.
can be able to speak to that, no?
I think it's diverse.
Diverse.
Yeah. With technology, the new generation, there's always something probably just new that us or anybody like in the industry sometimes can't cope with. It just happens naturally, and like the last 3 years, a lot of the students have been delving into virtual projects, virtual ways of executing
never
their
understand that.
creative.
But it comes off from pandemic.
But yeah,
I mean, we have to not forget
Yeah.
the fact
Where-
that
where-
we have come out from a pandemic, and a
Right.
lot of what we're doing now
Was a result of
is
That
a
is
response or whatever. But sometimes we think like, oh, it's all business as usual.
Yeah.
But actually, we've responded to that. We've entered a changed world, no?
Right.
And I think, Gabby, we were having this conversation, and you were saying that most of your students have such a difficult time
Yeah, with dealing with
spatial-
reality,
with
dealing
spatial
with
engagement.
spatial
like,
engagement.
Yeah, for their projects.
So
yeah.
I think that was one of the. So when we were working on the theme,
Yeah,
we're like we're just sharing experiences with my students during the pandemic and coming back doing face to face and just observing how they would work with their own hands and all these machines. Realized, okay, it's a bit of it's a different culture now, but yet somehow it's not their fault, but they're slowly coming back and realizing, okay, we want to learn what we missed out the last 3 years, 2 years.
3 years of
Yeah.
something else.
We get so excited about it.
Because even Gabby and I, we worked during the pandemic. I was actually in Hawaii and you were in Manila. And we worked with maybe 20 different manufacturers, and we designed collections for them. And for 2 years, we did that all virtually. So for us, it was, it was tough to not see the product. But then, thankfully, we've been around long enough that we knew what the techniques and
what
the
will
skills
work, yeah.
and whatever of the certain companies that we worked with. So I mean that was great. But then can you imagine students not see? And we actually worked also during the pandemic where
We worked in a pandemic.
where we
built like 6 sculptures.
What?
hand woven sculptures that were they were pretty
it's
huge
going
in
to
scale.
well, very few people saw that in real life, but it's coming out this year. It's been, but not in Manila. So one part of the set is being shown in Hong Kong, and part of the set
A
is
set of
currently
sculpture.
yes by her, which
That
was
you-
built through the workshop of. It's by an artist.
Okay.
And it's built through the workshop of Vizcara.
Vizcara.
So part of
My
the
family.
sculptures are now in Thailand,
Okay.
and another set will be shown in March
Yeah.
in Hong Kong.
Okay.
So
Why
yeah.
not here? We can't.
Because
bring it
we
here.
already showed it here.
Yeah, but during the
For
pandemic,
half a year. We showed it for half a
Oh,
year. Nobody
Bring it
came.
back.
but there's going to be a book, correct?
A book.
We're going to be. We'll be
A book.
launching a book.
Published by MCAD.
Yes, we're launching the catalog in, I think, in March. Yeah. So watch out for that.
Okay.
We'll
I'm
invite
seeing
people.
something here like you never really stop creating, di ba? Kayo, tatlo, in your own fields. Like you always, there's always something going
Yes.
on in that,
It's not that.
in those minds of yours. So
Yeah.
maybe can you share with us, like, to non-creatives, how, what's your creative process like, and how do you come up with all these things? How do you make them real? Because we're talking about the open, which
Yeah.
you're giving other people a chance to make their imagination come to life, right? But you've been doing that in your careers. So how do you do it? Like, how was it for you the first time it ever happened that you came up with
Yeah,
something?
actually, that'd be interesting. How do you build a
Yes, yeah.
like a show or a
a very unique idea.
With much difficulty.
do you talk to the artist first, or do you have already
paano
something
yun?
in mind?
Like,
I don't know. I mean, it's like writing, I guess, no? It's like
Brilliant
built to,
writer, by the way.
I know.
No, I mean, like, it's like you when you do your shows or whatever. You guys like.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have your ear to the ground, I guess. And I mean, it's not about trends.
No,
Not at
no.
all.
It's not about trends.
I think it's more of being observant.
Yes, and seeing like
Observation.
what's
discernment.
what
of,
is
Yeah,
Yeah.
just taking note
yeah.
of everything else.
I
What
think
is
just like
interesting.
being for yourself and your whatever wellness, there's an awareness that you have to have.
Yes,
A
yes,
certain kind of awareness, whether it's self-awareness or just being aware of what's out there, what's in the zeitgeist, what's, diba?
Yeah.
And it's not really trend. And then you kind of
pick up
have
on
your
something.
own personal filter, and then you know.
I mean, for me, I think what's always important is that I'm from the Philippines. It's local
Okay.
always for me, but we all speak to a global
Audience.
space, not necessarily audience. I speak to a local audience. I come from a local space, but conversations are global. You know, we can't not do that anymore because the world is so small, and the concerns are so larger than us. But we can't be parochial in the sense that we can only think about this and we can't, you know. So I think it's always this. I think for all of us, this capacity to actually be able to think from a very local perspective and being very, very aware of that, but also not forgetting that we are part of a larger global community.
Okay, that's a good way.
Yeah, because we tend to think, oh, let's just do whatever it is locally.
Yeah.
But then there are larger factors, but also larger discourses that are going on in the rest of the world. You know, I mean, there are wars, there are AIs, there are elections, there are so many things going on everywhere. There's like global warming, so many things, but we're part of that. We can't say, oh, we're not being
You
affected.
can't isolate yourself.
Yeah, we can, and I think all of us have that. We have a handle on this, and we're able to maybe in our own way, in our own little way, be able to think through it. You know, whether I mean, it's not always like cause and effect, right? Right? But there are many things, and I think the Benilde Open is an initiative.
Yes.
One of the many things that we are actually using as a space to encourage creatives to think through possible worlds.
Yes.
No?
Wow.
Yeah, I think that.
Okay. So, I mean, like,
That's
that
fantastic,
giving
eh?
space, that's that's not very common, diba? Like, not
It's-
everyone gets the opportunity or the chance to get that space to express, to think, create. So, I think it's a very, admirable initiative. Yun, and for people, I guess, for a lot of people in the creative field, there's always that inspiration or someone who maybe encouraged them, and then maybe not a person, maybe an event like that, diba? Like ano. But for you personally, when you decided to pursue your careers, was there anybody who figured as an inspiration or a mentor or somebody you looked up to that inspired you to push?
Parang none.
Parang
none.
I mean, I think there's so many people who
Yeah.
kind of, help you, and guide you, and then, and then actually, I don't want to be like that.
That's why nga.
So I mean, I think it's constant. I mean,
I
we
think
used
that-
to always have, I look to them all the time to, especially with Gabby, I work with them
Closely.
All the time.
closely, and so you always have, I think, a community that or a tribe that you kind of lean on, and then I think that's important.
Yeah.
And that you share. There's room for everyone, right? There's a lot of there's light for everyone. So I think it's been great, because especially in the design community here, we have we even have like chat groups with other designers and other brands that are and you help each other out, you share information, and I think that kind of community is also important, not just thinking of designs to do, but also kind of having this kind of rapport and really wanting the best for everyone. I think I think that kindness and compassion you always have to kind of have also, and I'm glad that I have that with the people I surround myself with.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh. Gabby,
me?
ikaw, oo.
Gabby,
None.
I agree.
None. I agree. I agree with Rita.
Me too.
When you're doing something, diba? Like when you're working on something, are you always guided by like a deeper reason or
Well,
something?
not really. Not really.
Or you just, ano ba yun?
Yeah, like what Yeyey mentioned, and just being, putting your ear in the floor, that alone, and also being observant and just seeing everything differently. Sometimes it's not about inspiration.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just this is what I want. Right?
Yeah, I think
Expression.
sometimes genius is overrated. No, I mean, of course, there are geniuses. No, I don't purport to be,
I think there's so many people. There's different ways of learning. Everyone has different timelines. Everyone. That's why it's great that the Benilde Open is open to all ages because I mean there are people who find their passions and their design passions so young, and some who do it in a later age. So it's and I think that's why Benilde also is so cool because it's, as you said, it's non-traditional learning. So
it is
and
non-traditional.
so there's this creativity is meant to flourish.
Okay.
So.
Speaking of flourish, the next question is about how thriving is the creative industry today, in your opinion?
I think it's doing well. I mean, maybe on our field, maybe other fields that we don't know of. As I mentioned, like gaming is doing really well. Anything about animation, anything in UI UX is doing really well. In fact, a lot of designers have shifted to that, especially during pandemic. So I think the creative field is just expanding compared to 20 years ago. Right.
I can see that, no? Expanding, that's the word to use. Kasi parang a lot of new ideas and new
It's like
designs.
we're always trying to cope. I think
coming out.
education's trying to cope with what's going to happen in the future.
Exactly.
Right?
I
So
think
every 4 or 5 years they develop new programs or update programs, and because that's based on they can't be teaching something's been which is like 5 years ago, so it has to always be ahead, and I think in the creative field just allows you to think
To
that
do that,
way, to do that.
I think Benilde has that capacity. It's incredibly flexible, and it's actually, I'm very surprised because it's actually very, very responsive to what's going on in the world, really, what the needs are.
Sometimes you'd think, why do they have this program?
Yes.
But then, like in 4 years' time, you're like, okay, now we get it.
Way
Yeah.
ahead.
Right? It's like, well, we don't. Do we need this now? Like maybe no, not. But
Who thinks up of all these things?
I think it's the teachers. I think the faculty, the people who are there, who actually challenge the status quo. I think it's always good to challenge the status quo because then it allows them not to fight them, but to actually challenge them to think, to start thinking outside of the box because we can get stuck.
Also, a lot of the professors there are part-time, so
Practitioners. Yeah.
So they would
Practice.
observe and share with the students what they think will happen with the program itself. What can
Because they see,
change.
because they work,
Yeah.
right?
They work.
Kind of like you.
Yeah, they work. So they come in and so it's not that they don't work in silos, like in their own
Yes.
Yeah.
heads, and they're just like thinking, I don't know, just a
That's
student
very
of me.
lim- oh.
But because they're part of a larger industry, they bring it back. So I think that allows for this interesting, how I say it, I mean, for a free zone within the school
It's a good environment.
Yeah,
to
the environment.
Because I mean, they learn from people like Yeyey, and they learn from people
we
like
should
Gabby
teach them.
and Din.
Mga
I don't
ano,
teach, but you're
teach
there.
I don't
But-
teach
But
her.
it's
But
it doesn't.
she
It's not
create-
necessarily
yeah.
teaching,
Yeah.
but then they go to
The
MCAD,
exhibitions.
which is right. They go
Yeah.
to the exhibitions,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
you know they learn from. I learn from them every time I go there, right?
Yeah,
So I think that's having
That's
that in the-
education.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
that's
is,
huge
yeah.
education.
It's
yeah.
outside. It's
it's
not
not just-
traditional.
Yes,
Yeah,
there you
always
go.
outside the
It's not
box.
just presenting
Having you
something.
there
it's
is
an
just-
exhibition.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not a
But-
classroom
No.
per
Yeah.
se, yeah. But we actually encourage a lot of the students and the teachers to teach there, to use it as their classroom because it actually is a space where so many things can
Yeah.
intersect, where, I don't know,
Yeah.
conversations can be had, which is like outside of, I don't know.
And also some of the exhibitions you've done allows the students or even the audience to see it here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Because not everybody would want to
Can-
fly out just to see an exhibition.
Yeah, and I
done
don't think you
in
need
here.
to, right?
Yeah.
It allows for you to see it here, and then it creates an aesthetic space, an aesthetic eye that is not
Yeah.
necessarily, that's bigger
Yeah.
than what we always see. I think this is what museums
Yeah.
do anyhow.
Yeah. I don't think all museums get it. Anyway,
So, you need to go
Yeah.
visit.
I know.
MCAD.
I think we
Video.
should do a
So
whole story
one of the
on it.
things is when the whoever gets the grant from the Build Open,
Yes.
the work is also exhibited.
Yeah nga.
So it has to
Yeah.
be, it is shown in the schools, not in MCAD,
Not in MCAD.
But
Yeah,
around
not
the
in
campus of
around the
Dinah.
campus. So it will be shown in situ, so it can be like
So-
sort of like contextualized in the world.
May and Benilde is going to be so exciting because we're gonna open the doors there and see all the
Yeah.
work.
The creative
yeah.
output. Okay.
Yeah.
So, run out of time. But as a parting shot, what's your advice to the creative practitioners who would like to pursue the Benilde Open?
You have 2
2024?
weeks. It ends this January 31st.
Parang short
but
na ano yung time
but-
frame.
no,
Diba?
we've already, it's been open, so
Ah,
we've
okay.
had
Yeah.
a few, quite a few proposals already. So
Proposals,
so we'd love to have more. So hopefully your viewers will be able to go to open.benilde.edu.ph. So and we'll share that website with you again. So and also an IG at Benilde Open.
Okay.
So
Okay. Anything else you would like to say as a
Ah,
closing message to our viewers
I don't know if
today?
it's a message, no? I mean,
Or
just
any kind of
apply.
Just apply.
Apply.
Just apply.
Visit
yeah, send your
MCAD.
proposals in.
Yeah.
Think of projects that you know that you've always wanted to do, and it's 300,000 pesos per
Up
up
to
to 300,000 pesos per project.
Where
So
is
that's
that fund coming from?
from Benilde?
From Benilde.
I mean, really, they are investing in ideas, no? Because
Galing.
it is a creative
Yeah.
space.
Oo.
And I mean, what better way to
Yeah,
spend
create
your
this
money
platform. Yeah.
than to spend it in ideas, which actually could be amazing.
You
things.
never know
Yeah,
what's gonna
exactly.
come out. Are you excited?
Yes,
Yes.
of course. Well, no,
It's a great
super.
initiative.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It really is, and
So
coming
unique.
from someone who's not from Benilde, it really I'm so excited. I actually have like projects in my head. I'm like, oh, I can't propose because I'm part of it, but but it's exciting
also,
to have. I'm so
kind of
excited for
inspired.
everyone.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a rare opportunity.
it really is.
Okay, so with that in mind, thank you very much, everyone, for this wonderful afternoon. Our guests have been most enlightening, and I wish I had more time talking with each one of you about what you do, because each one of you is so interesting. But maybe for next time. Meanwhile, this has been Dinah Ventura, and this has been Pairfect.